I'm going to show you how to build an app with Thunkable. It's a drag and drop kind of app builder. You can build iPhone apps, iPad apps, and Android apps. It's kind of multi-platform. I've kind of got my screen set up where I'm projecting my iPad onto the screen, so that's what you see on the left, and then the big screen is my browser open, and I'm actually at thunkable.com, and that's where I'm going to build the app. So you're seeing a projection of my iPad and also my computer. On my iPad at the bottom, you see a little icon called Thunkable Live. So you want to download the Thunkable Live app from the App Store or from the Play Store if you're on Android. And that's how you kind of emulate or test apps. Back on my computer, though, I'm going to just show you. You can actually just type in thunkable.com to get to Thunkable, and then you can click on login or sign up. And once you do that, choose the cross-platform. And you can even sign up with just your Google account information and get you on there. So what you're seeing is a bunch of apps that I have, but you'll have a blank screen. And what you want to do is create new app. And once you do that, it'll ask you to name it. I'm going to call this app Say It. We're going to build a real simple app with a button. You click the button, and then we use text-to-speech to say something. Okay, so a pretty simple app, but pretty interesting, to build an app so quickly. So here's the designer. This is where you do the user interface, how the screen's going to look. And what I'm going to do is I can choose any of these components. I'm going to choose a button. That's all we're going to have. It's a very simple app, and I'm going to drag it onto my screen. And as you can see, it says button. So I'm going to change the text on the button by changing the property called text to Say It. All right, and it'll show up on my screen here. To test the app, I'm going to click on my iPad, click on the Thunkable Live app, and it's going to come up and show my app, and that's what's showing on the screen now. You'll notice there's a button, it says Say It, and it's pretty much what I did in the designer. Right now, if I click on Say It, nothing's going to happen, because I haven't shown the interactive behavior of the app yet, and that's what I need to do next. One thing that we need is a component called text-to-speech, and it's an invisible component. I was looking at the user interface area, but now I'm going to go down to voice, and I'm going to pick out this text-to-speech component. And I can either drag it on the screen, or I can drag it directly into the invisible components area. But either way, you can't see it on the screen. It's just a component that knows how to do things, but it's got no visibility. Okay, and what it knows how to do is say stuff. But even now, I haven't yet coded the interactive behavior. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to click on blocks near the top of the screen and kind of go to where you do the code. So this is where you do the interactive behavior. The other screen's the designer, right? So in the blocks, you'll notice there's all my components show up at the left bottom, and you'll see button 1 is there, and I'm going to choose button 1, and I'm going to see a bunch of blocks, including one called an event handler, and the top one I'm going to grab it, and it says when button 1.click. And what it's basically saying is I want to put code in there in that open slot, and whatever I put in there is going to happen when the user clicks the button. Okay, and so far I'm not doing anything. What I'm going to do is go to the text-to-speech component and grab its speech function and just drag it in and plug it into that open slot for the button.click. You'll notice the text parameter is empty. There's an empty slot there. That's because we need to tell it what to say. And I'm just going to go over to the text, grab the red block with the quotations, and whatever I type into that box, that's what my text-to-speech component is going to say when the button is clicked. So I'm just going to say something simple, have a nice day. But literally whatever you type in there, that's what's going to be spoken. So now I've got my app, and I'm sorry, I need to log back into my iPad, and it's going to come up. And now my app, when I click that button, it's going to say the words I said because I've just coded that interactive behavior. And as soon as I make changes in at Thunkable, my app emulator is gonna work. So over on my iPad, I'm gonna click Say It, and I don't know if you heard that. I'll touch Say It again. Nice day. And there it is. So that's how you build an app with Thunkable. Right now, we just tested it in the emulator, so we don't really have an app on my iPad. It's kind of like I'm emulating it through the Thunkable Live app. But I can also go up, and there's a download menu item. and basically I can say download it to my iPhone or to my Android, and actually install the app onto my device. It does take about 15 minutes once you click that download.